Last night, there were lots of things to be happy about with this England performance.
Absolutely.
A few things to be slightly concerned about. Why don't we start with the positives? Saka.
Excellent. I've got to say, made a difference when he came on. I got my cards on the table right now. I did humanities training last night, but I did watch extended highlights, so I didn't see the whole game. Substitutions, again, made a big difference. Saka and Mount coming on. I thought Mount's finish, by the way, was absolutely fantastic. It really was. Played into him, hit it first time, proper finish.
This was the equaliser as well, so it was an important one for 2-2.
Of course it was. I mean, I think you've got to take positives for it. I mean, great spirit to come back, 2-0 down. Scored the... I thought the goals that England lost, obviously that's a negative side of it, were poor. But in terms of overall play, good goals, 3 goals against the Germans. I think you definitely got more of what you wanted for yesterday, I would imagine, because looking for England to kind of get the shackles off and go and play, and it's the first couple of goals in open play. Harry Kane gets which you think's going to be the winner. A few minutes
penalty
to go. Yeah, and then Nick Pope makes the error, but plenty of drama in the game, and obviously a couple of penalties. But no, I mean, a great game to watch. But negative, I still think we saw England's weaknesses, and one of the reasons, in fact the main reason, where England might not win the World Cup, and that's defensively.
Yeah, back page of The Sun this morning, you will see, I mean, there's quite a lot like this. Harry on defending, brilliant comeback after Maguire, comedy of errors spoiled by Pope Howler. So they've honed in on these errors, and I understand why they've done it, and I understand the criticism of Harry. It's really tricky, isn't it? Because you have to be able to analyse someone's performance, and there's a part of me that kind of goes, wow, do we try and protect Harry Maguire in a way because it's only going to make his confidence worse, and we know that Gareth Southgate is going to stand by him, or do we as adults all kind of go, there's something not, and this is what I'm deciding to do, there is something not right about Harry Maguire's performances. And me and my producer were speaking earlier on, and we were saying the Manchester derby's this weekend, he's not going to be playing in that. That's an important game. It's one of the most important games for Manchester United season. And then there's probably just over 7 weeks to go until the World Cup. How many of those Premier League games is he going to be starting for Manchester United in that time? So then he goes to the World Cup with not loads of game time, not loads of confidence either.
Correct.
Is this really the smartest thing to do, Ali?
And
why didn't we get Fikayo Tomori in just to have a look? Just in case.
That's what I kept saying. I've been saying that really for weeks and weeks. It's an opportunity to have a look at other players to see what they can do. However, getting back to your original question, Woodsy, that's when you've got a real problem. If he's not playing at all, and you get into the World Cup and he's got very, very little game time for Manchester United, I think that gives you a big problem. I'm all for, and I can understand Gareth showing loyalty to players, whether it's he did the same with Pickford when Pickford made a couple of errors, stuck by him, and to be fair to Pickford, it's amazing he had one of his best games last night, Pickford, didn't he?
I suppose the difference with Pickford is last season, even while Everton were having an absolute shocker of a season, he was one of the few guiding lights. I'm not saying he hasn't. He's not been incredible, but he was doing quite well for Everton.
Absolutely, but there was a period where he was making the odd mistakes, howlers. I can remember, was it a game against Liverpool, for example, and things like that. He made 2 or 3 errors and Gareth stuck by him. And you would expect him to do the same. I think we're all expecting him to do the same with Harry Maguire. But the big difference is Pickford was playing, and it doesn't look as though Maguire's going to be playing an awful lot. So that's the big problem for me. And I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure he will play him if he hasn't got any game time at all, to be honest with you.
He also, just looking back at his recent game time, so obviously plays in the England games, and then for United it's exclusively Europa League at the moment in the last few games, or he comes off the bench for a little bit. He gets booked, in the game that he came off the bench against Arsenal, he got booked. Then he missed the 3 games previous to that, and against Brentford and against Brighton he also got booked, and against Atletico Madrid. So there's something in that player at the moment where the confidence that was there before is not there. Is that what it boils down to, where a player like Harry Maguire, who at one stage in his life went for 80 plus million from Leicester and was that defender, that was the defender that Manchester United wanted, and now looks like he's a shadow of that, Al?
Oh, he's 100% a shadow of it. He's going through. You can see we're looking at a player low in confidence, absolutely low in confidence. Not just the mistakes last night for giving away the penalty. These things can happen, but you look around him, and he just doesn't look the same player at all, would you? But there's only one person that can do something about that, and that is Harry Maguire. And he's going to have to try and get a grip of himself and just play his way through this period that he's in. Because footballers all have periods where, form dips and your confidence goes a little bit. But with a World Cup looming, Harry Maguire's got, I think, serious problems if he wants to start in Gareth Southgate's team. And I'm just not so sure that he will start him. Would you now?
Really?
If he doesn't play, a substantial or a reasonable amount of games between now and the World Cup, I think it's very difficult for him to play him. I really do, if he's not playing.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.